Okay, so what if you could make a phone, like really make it, completely unstealable? Or what if you could create a digital identity that's just impossible to fake? Today, we're diving into ENTIFY, an incredibly ambitious project that claims it has a pretty radical solution for some of the biggest security problems in our digital world.
So to really get what ENTIFY is all about, we got to start with the problem they're trying to solve, what they call a crisis of trust. I mean, just think about it. We're living in a world where AI can perfectly fake anyone's voice or face. Our data is constantly being siphoned off, and nobody's really sure who owns what online. ENTIFY's big argument is that these aren't separate problems at all. Nope, they're all just symptoms of a single, fundamentally broken digital foundation. All right, so to wrap our heads around this whole thing, we're going to break it down into 6 key ideas. We'll kick things off with its wild promise of unstealable things. Then we'll dig into how it creates a totally new kind of human identity. From there, we'll check out the off-grid tech that makes it all run and its vision for a new abundance economy. And then, at the end, we're going to have to ask, is this all just a little too good to be true? Okay, first up, that digital crisis of trust. This is really the whole backdrop for ENTIFY. The core idea here is that our current digital world isn't just a little buggy, it's built on a flawed foundation from the ground up, which creates the exact vulnerabilities that ENTIFY claims it can wipe out for good. So how do you fix something that's broken right down to its foundations? Well, ENTIFY's answer is startlingly bold. It all starts with the promise of creating things, both digital and physical, that are fundamentally, unstealable. I mean, that is a massive claim, right? And this quote from the project's founder really just captures the sheer scale of that ambition. He's talking about the ENTIFY network as a kind of sanctuary of trust, where the crypto is so rock solid that it actually makes crime mathematically pointless. And this slide, man, it really just draws a line in the sand. On one side, you've got the phone in your pocket right now, vulnerable, hackable, always spying on you. On the other side is the ENTIFY vision, unbreakable, completely private, and unstealable. And this isn't just a concept, either. They plan to build this idea into a real physical object, a phone that's designed to be completely worthless to a thief. And we're not just talking about some fancy software here. The sources describe a super deep connection between the actual hardware and the network. Think of it like the phone's DNA is permanently burned into the blockchain. So if someone steals it, they can't wipe it, they can't install a new OS, they can't sell it. It just becomes a useless brick. The whole act of stealing it becomes completely pointless. Okay, so what's the anchor for all this incredible security? It's not a password. It's not a PIN code. It all starts with a completely new way of creating a digital identity, one that's actually forged by a human, not generated by a machine. This slide does a great job of showing the process, and it's described almost like a ceremony. It's really intentional. This is not about a computer just spitting out a random password for you. This is about you, a conscious human being, creating your own unique cryptographic proof that you exist. And this is what they mean by human-centric cryptography. Your identity isn't just some password anymore. It's the unique way you sign your name, the speed of it, the pressure you use, and the special way you draw 3 secret symbols. It's a legal declaration of your own selfhood. You literally copyright your own identity. How wild is that? All right, so you've created this super unique human-based identity. Awesome, but where does it, live? Well, that brings us to the tech itself, an entirely new kind of network, one that's built to be off-grid and totally independent. Okay, so here's a huge piece of the puzzle. ENTIFY is not designed to run on the good old public internet. It runs on its own private, military-grade radio mesh network. Every single ENTiphone becomes a little node in the network, creating this sovereign, independent digital space that can't just be shut down by some central company or government. And your identity doesn't just live on the phone. No, it's physically anchored to this thing, the ENTI card. This card holds your private keys completely offline in what's known as cold storage. Now, ENTIFY makes a huge claim here. They say this 2-device setup solves all known user compromise vectors, basically because a hacker on the other side of the world just can't steal a physical key that isn't even connected to a network. Okay, this slide right here gets to the absolute core of their big innovation with blockchain. You see, traditional blockchains use insane amounts of energy for proof of work just to verify transactions. But in the ENTIFY system, every single user has already proven they're a real, unique human with that whole proof of life ceremony.
The network already trusts its users, so it completely eliminates the need for all that energy-guzzling mining, creating what they call a zero-energy or proofless system. But look, this whole system, it's not just about locking things down and proving who you are. ENTIFY is also proposing an entirely new economic model that's built on top of this foundation of absolute trust. And they call it an abundance economy. The currency of the system, which they call the N token, is a stablecoin. But here's the twist. It's pegged directly to a real, physical thing, 1 milligram of certified gold. The whole idea is to prevent the crazy speculation and inflation that you see in a lot of other crypto economies. And according to their white papers, value isn't just about the gold. Users can create digital tokens that represent real-world stuff, like their house. You could even create value from a verified, legally binding promise to do a job for someone. It's designed to be an abundance economy, where value is always tied back to real, tangible things, not just thin air and speculation. So, after hearing all of these, frankly, world-changing ideas, the big question has to be, how does ENTIFY say it stacks up against, well, every other security system out there? As you can probably guess, their own evaluation makes some incredibly bold claims. So this table, and we pulled this straight from their own documents, pretty much sums up their entire pitch. They've looked at everything from traditional blockchains to the SIM card in your phone, and, big surprise, they conclude that ENTIFY is the only system that gets a very high score across every single dimension of trust. And this quote, this really just nails down their ultimate claim. They're arguing that ENTIFY isn't just a small improvement on what we already have. It's an entirely new category of technology, a single unified architecture that pulls together identity, communication, finance, and security in a way that they say has never been done before. So at the end of the day, what we have here is a vision for a mathematically perfect, crime-free world, all built on a foundation of provable trust. It's an incredibly compelling idea, which leaves us all with one final thought to chew on. Is this a technically feasible blueprint for the future of our digital lives? Or is it just a beautiful but maybe unreachable utopian dream?